The Chicago Bears have a master schemer in Ben Johnson. He's turned around a franchise devoid of success. He's turned what was a potential bust into what looks to be a potential superstar. Now the Bears are shockingly right in the heart of the playoff picture. So how can a coach have such a drastic effect on an NFL franchise and offense? Today we'll go through Johnson's philosophy and scheme, where his philosophy is built on balance, confusion, trickery, and toughness. To establish that balance and toughness, this year he rushed the ball 45% of the time. That was 9th highest in the league. He wants not just to establish the run, but make defenses fear it, use it as a tool to attack you, but also to create better passing concepts, namely play action off of these runs. To maintain that balance, that threat where it can be run or pass, he uses 12 and 13 personnel at a much higher clip than league average. This means he'll swap out a third receiver for a second tight end, sometimes even swap another receiver for another tight end, to make both the run more formidable and the threat of the run more formidable. The heavier personnel helps with Johnson's play action efficiency. This year he used play action 32.8% of the time. This was 3rd highest in the league. And a lot of the Bears' biggest plays come from these play-action explosives, where defenses see the same look as the run, so they bite up, which creates space behind him for big explosive plays. He designs these concepts to hit over the middle of the field with crossing routes. This is where he likes to attack you, so he establishes the run, he uses heavier personnel, then he uses play action to win over the middle. It's all cohesive. It all fits neatly together. These are the building blocks of this Ben Johnson offense. To really dive into Johnson's scheme, I decided it'd be best to focus on one specific game, the Week 17 38-point offensive explosion, a loss against the 49ers. Johnson does an incredible job of making the run and the pass look identical. He played games with the linebackers all day long to open up receivers with play action. Watch how he has Caleb Williams under center with the running back behind him and the tight end jet motioning across the formation at the snap, which does a couple things. It creates a chain effect where each of the defenders have to adjust to the new formation with Cole Kmet motioning across. The two linebackers have to bump over a gap each in the run game. Each defender is responsible for a gap in the run game, even if it's a pass, which is why play action can be so effective. If you can manipulate the linebacker who's flying into a certain gap, but is also responsible for a receiver in the passing game, and you're moving that receiver far away from that defender, this is what Ben Johnson's scheme is all about. When D. Winters sees Kmet motion across, he has to bust his ass over to account for the weak side A-gap, and also has to make sure he's in position to make the play and not get siphoned off from the backside. So then this perfectly sets up the play-action pass for later, where Johnson understands the adjustment the 49ers defense makes based off the motion, so he exploits him. Again, here's Caleb under center, running back, Kmet going in jet motion. Now it's the safety Jason Pinnock on the second level who has to shift over to handle again the weak side A-gap. He knows to win against the run, he has to play downhill fast, but Johnson knows this is the same look, knows Pinnock will be over-aggressive, so he has Luther Burden rip across the field the other way and creates this wide open, easy throw for Caleb. Those two plays are an example of play sequencing, where you set up the defense to force them in one direction, force their eyes to a certain spot, then have somebody fly across the field the other way. Johnson uses play sequencing to open a specific receiver in a specific spot in the field, so Caleb doesn't have to go through a ton of reads. It's more, hey, this guy will be open here because I got him open with my scheme. Don't go through all these reads, just throw to him. One of my favorite things to watch with this offense is not just how he sets up his scheme, but how he adjusts it in-game based on what the defense is doing. To attack the middle of the field, he uses tons of crossing routes. This is the main staple of his scheme, but he understands how to adjust to what the defense is doing to open up those crossing routes during the game. On the second play of the first drive, he's trying to open up those crossers by playing off what the defense is expecting. This is called dagger stop, where it looks like a dagger concept, a clear out crossing route over the middle to open up space in the middle, but so the defense doesn't jump his bread and butter concept, he sits his receivers down over the middle to set up dagger moving forward. These are of course all off play action. He set these all up to suck up the secondary with the play fake, then now runs actual dagger to get the crosser from DJ Moore over the middle, but it's just not open. So then, okay, well, let's run this same dagger path. Now the defense has to adjust and back off a bit since we might have both receivers screaming across the middle. But no, we run same side sail, which once again looks like dagger, but now we're overloading one side instead of attacking the middle, and yet the 49ers are still on top of this. But for Johnson, these failures do not amount to nothing. He uses these pass plays we're seeing where he's trying to attack the middle, trying to attack where the defense is not, to then do so. Watch the weak side safety Malik Mustafa away from the receivers coming down for the first crosser. So far, Johnson's seen on film that Mustafa's been coming down hard to relate to the most inside receiver. In football, we count receivers outside in 1, 2, 3. So Mustafa was covering the new 3, the most inside guy after the motion, which allowed the second level to get more depth for dagger. You can see on each of these, Mustafa is flying downhill to defend the strong side of the formation. On all of these, the Bears really only have 2 main receivers, so the other defenders can sink back and defend the most outside threat. So now watch how on our big play, Johnson starts 3 receivers to one side. Colson Loveland is the 1, because he's most outside, but then becomes the 3 with the motion. They sit him down right under Mustafa's nose, which allows 2 receivers to get depth. This is another form of dagger, and Caleb makes an incredible throw. There are just so many little nuances, so many little tweaks that you can see in Johnson's game plans, his schemes. Everything is so precise and everything is installed for a reason. For example, look at this massive split between the center and right guard. This is the only play in the game where this split is this big. This is very rare for every team. You never see this. Ben Johnson is setting a trap. Just a few plays prior, the Niners run blitzed a similar look. They wanted to spike inside to get penetration up through the Bears' outside zone scheme. This is the best way to defend outside zone. Defenses also spike inside to make room for a blitzing defender outside so you're not in the same gap. Well, Johnson saw that, set this trap. It forces everybody to attack the wide open gap they're seeing, which gives DeAndre Swift a natural cutback and he flows through the defense. The Ben Johnson offensive philosophy and scheme has changed the course of Chicago Bears football for good. Lost in the dire abyss going on 40 years without a Super Bowl, no playoff wins for 15 years, well, now the Bears are back and they're hungry for more. Johnson's offensive philosophy is built on many things. He deploys a balanced attack where you never know what he's doing, it could be run or pass, different personnel groupings, and more. He uses tons of play action to create confusion, trick plays to even further that confusion, and at the end of the day, his philosophy is built around running the football, then attacking the middle with play action passes. I believe in a more typical NFL season where there's more dominant teams at the top, the Bears wouldn't stand much of a chance heading into the divisional round. While I do love the Rams, and I'll take them to win, the Bears do have the ceiling to take them down, go into Seattle and win 2, and even win the Super Bowl. Caleb Williams has grown leaps and bounds since last year, hell, since even the first couple weeks of this season, and he's playing at a high level with a good roster around him. With the defense struggling in ways, the onus is on Caleb. It's on Ben Johnson and this offense to score lots of points, and for the last month they have been. With Johnson scheming up defenses left and right, Caleb rolling around and icing them up, the Chicago Bears are back, and this is just the beginning.